All right, so today, much anticipated, much asked for. Kylan, can you please get World Eaters on the channel? So today we have the World Eaters versus the Necron Starshatter Arsenal and the World Eater Bezerker warband. So if you're wondering how these two armies match up against each other, you're going to want to stick around because I'm going to take this 3-hour game. We're going to condense it down roughly into 20 minutes. I'm going to give you a lot of technical things in this game and pointers. So if there is one battle report to watch, this is not just me telling you this or some clickbait, but this is going to be one to watch because we're going to be talking about some very technical things here and how to play this matchup. So let's get into it. Also, if you play another army, T-Suns, Marines, Orcs, you're probably going to get a lot of value out of this video as well because a lot of the concepts I'm going to be talking about are macro or more little broad concepts. So anyways, let's get into the report. So we are playing Tipping Point today, Lichpin, and Layout 6 GW because I'm based here in the US. And this is with the new data slate, new points, all of that good stuff. A little bummed we didn't get a detachment and no kill team rules for that one guy, but here we are. So unfortunately, Necrons are kind of in this spot where we're just running warriors or we're running race and we're running DDAs. Let's not sugarcoat it. Maybe I hope somebody comes out with some cool, interesting build that just takes down a GT outside of this, but it's hard. It's hard to me envision that happening. But hey, I would love to be proven wrong. So going into this game, some things to think about. So let's talk about World Eaters. World Eaters are definitely, I think, without showing the score yet, going to be one of our Predators, I think for sure. On paper, they hit a lot harder. The +1 damage buff to the Exalted 8-bound, especially with the Slaughterbound in there with the enhancement. He basically can go up to like 4 damage flat and has like 11 attacks or something crazy on the charge. So one thing to note that brick alone, even with the king with -1 damage, could potentially just pop him, which is crazy. I don't think 3 Exalted with the Slaughterbound could do it, but maybe 6 Exalted 8-bound with the Slaughterbound if they connect with the king, which is like really scary because that unit deep strikes as well. So if you have it as like a rapid ingress threat or something like that, like these boys be moving. All right. So pretty solid list here. So he's got a couple units of Jackals, couple Forge Fiends, 2 units of 2 Spawn. He has actually I need to get my my pointer out here. He has some Exalted 8-bound here. He's got a 3-unit Exalted 8-bound here, and then he's got the brick of 6 Exalted 8-bound with the Slaughterbound in Deep Strike as an ingress threat, and then he has the 10 Zerks with Karn in the Rhino, which going into this matchup, and if you want to know what's going through my head, is that is the #1 target. Okay, so we are still running Starshatter. We are running Starshatter Warriors. I've been liking this build as of late. It's still super durable. Don't get me wrong, you still have the 4-up invul. We're running the Rural Warden, so the brick has the ability to fall back, shoot, and charge, and then you're running the Ignore Cover enhancement on the Rural Warden. So essentially the Warriors go up to AP2 if they're next to Xeris Ignore Cover. So in a game of a lot of 4-up invuls, Demon Princes running around, that sort of thing, AP2 Ignore Cover, high volume lethals with rerolls is a very good profile to basically just shoot into anything, which is great. So the only downside, the Warriors are still only moving 5, but again, with fallback, shoot, and charge, there's ways to like kind of game their movement. All right, and then this is backed up by 3 DDAs, 3 units of 3 Scorpex, Tomb Blades, Xeris. If you're wondering what this white cardboard box is, I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but there's a possibility that I'm gonna have to build another Doomsday Arc, or in this case, a Ghost Arc, because I'm probably gonna run this list. Maybe not, but probably. All right. So going into the game, before the game actually starts, deployment in this matchup, I'm going to have everything on the board. Nothing's going to be in reserve. I have to make sure that he respects me, and he's not just going to like potentially just blitz me off the line turn one. So all the DDAs are going to be out in deployed here, and you're noticing that I'm actually intentionally deploying them in the firing lines. Okay, so we're covering essentially the ability to cover all the firing lanes downfield, because I know the math in terms of DDAs. I talk about this all the time on the channel. Most armies in the game, outside of probably a couple, they need to commit at least 2 resources, 2 shooting resources to kill 1 DDA. So me knowing that, there's no way for him to move 2 Forge Fiends to connect. There's no way for him to move 2 Forge Fiends on any one of these firing lines to kill a DDA. So I know, and he also doesn't really have the range. They don't really become super potent until they're within rapid fire range. Okay, so DDAs, everything else are on the board. And the flayed ones I elected to put here. I don't know if that was the best decision, because it's interesting playing the Warriors, because I don't necessarily mind him like charging and getting closer. I think if anything, it just gets the game started quicker. And because you are running the Warriors with a larger surface area to block those like initial charges, that being like if it's the Zerks, if it's the Exalted A-Bound, if it's the Chaos Spawn, if they hit those things, I don't really mind. So I'd rather save the resource potentially for the points and just see how it plays. This is a practice game, so we are testing a lot of different things. Yeah, just seeing what the Warriors can handle. So let's flip over to this game. All right, let's get things going. So this was a very close game. Now I would say it was 77-74, but I think I'll talk about at the end, like, he might have been able to do something different to actually, like, save me from getting, I think, one of the secondary cards at the end, or him not being able to score primary. I think it was something like that. So he might have won by 2, but if anything, it's just a close game. This is what you want to see. And if I told you that the Warriors died top of turn 2, and we still pulled off this score, hey, maybe now it's worth watching, okay? So let's get into this here. So he's going to go first, which not a bad thing. So he's going to get Overwhelming Force and Established Locus. So Overwhelming Force obviously is going to be a CP. Established Locus, he's just going to move stuff towards the center and call it good. So let's fast forward here. So we're in the movement phase, turn 1, and I want to get everything lined up before the actual charge phase. So essentially, this is what we're looking at. So we have the Spawn moving up. We have Exalted 8-Bound moving up onto the objective. We have the Demon Prince is getting exactly 6 inches away from the center to get Established Locus. And Devin, being the good player that he is, found a cute little line right here where a DDA could not move like in a way to interact with these Exalted 8-Bound. So it allowed them to stage up a little bit more aggressively, and still be safe and not have to worry about getting shot, okay? So going into his charge phase, turn 1, he is going to move up the Spawn and connect with the flayed ones. So super smart on his part, and he kind of creates this little awkward move block here, potentially. So he's going to kill the flayed ones, and I believe he does. Yeah, he does pile into the Warriors, which was super smart. And I did not choose to actually heroic intervene here with the Scorpex, mainly because if I were him, I would just put the Spawn into the Scorpex instead of the flayed ones. And if they do spike, I could just lose the Scorpex, and they are a very key resource in this matchup. And I didn't want to lose them early. So if you're wondering why they didn't heroic intervene, that was my thought process on that. Okay, and we also saved the CP. All right. So Warriors over here definitely do not kill the Spawn, but we tie him up. And this is what I was talking about, where, again, we're creating that surface area where we make sure that, like, he hits the Warriors, but he's not really able to hit anything else, okay? So going into my turn 1, we're going to get Cull the Horde, which we can't do. Secure No Man's Land, attempting target. He originally made this objective, attempting target, and we told him, like, I was like, dude, you should probably just switch that. You should probably always, like, not always, but make it towards the center to make me put something on there. And the reason being is because the Warriors could only move 5 inches. So I don't believe it was not enough, I believe, to get on the objective. because they were tied up with the spawn. So the only way for me to get on this objective was there was no way because he killed the flayed ones. Okay, so I told him, because I was like, hey, I'm going to experiment here. So we're going into bottom of turn 1 with the movement. And I spent bull CP, and this is something to point out, with the Tomb Blades. Now, a learning off for me is I could have positioned them a little bit better. This was something I was like playing around with right before the game of like, I didn't know exactly where to put them because I didn't want them to get necessarily tagged. But if they were there, I don't think there was really anywhere where he could tag them. And then I wouldn't have had to spend an extra CP to move through the walls and then flat 6 advance. I really love the Tomb Blades in Starshatter. I know not everybody loves them, but I think they're just kind of like an X Factor unit for me. I think they're just fun. It's cool just like blitz them around and just trying to highlight some weird things that they can do. Especially if you're going second. They're a great like denial piece. So the Tomb Blades are going to flat 6 advance and go through walls over here, essentially. So we are in the bottom of turn 1 movement phase. And essentially what this is going to allow me to do is I'm going to get secure no man's land. I'm going to deny his primary. And then if he would have made that attempting target, that would have given me, 13 points off of one play. Okay. Again, this game is all about points. And that's what I love. Love me some Tomb Blades. So Tomb Blades are basically going to be doing that. Warriors are going to be falling back. So you're going to see the fallback here where essentially we're lining this right here. Okay, so you guys can see how this looks, and then they're strung back. I think maybe one warrior was like, let me fast forward pictures here. Yeah, there we go. So we weren't finished moving. That's the other thing I like to preface with some of these pictures. I did in the other video with the warriors. If something looks out of coherency, I assure you that it probably isn't, just because there's pictures in between where I'm like probably still moving the unit. And I always check in with my opponent like afterwards, like, hey, check the warriors, everything look good before I move on to another unit. So if you are running the warrior unit, that's something I highly recommend in your practice games or a tournament setting. Check in with your opponent. They're a weird unit. There's nothing else that exists like this in the game. And moving on. Okay. So warriors are positioned here. Now let's talk about this. So this is very intentional, and this is why you come here, because maybe your buddy at your local game store is running warriors, and you are just sick and tired of this unit, and I don't blame you. But, you know, this is what Necrons are right now, okay? So this is essentially my turn. So Tomb Blade's going to fire and fade. They're going to get on the objective. Warriors move here. They get on the objective and call it good, okay? Now, this is a very intentionally set up. So you're like, okay, why did you fell back. Why did you not move these warriors up more? Okay, so let's look at this, okay? So warriors are essentially like this. Now, what we're doing is we're conveniently having Scorpex staged at every point here, okay? Now, what you're seeing is, let me clean this up here a little bit, is you have an eligible heroic intervene threat at any point that they connect with the warriors, okay? Now, this is really our only way of potentially saving the warrior brick in these matchups, is you have to set up some sort of heroic intervene threat. Now, the other thing is that I could have played this a little bit better, is Xeris could have been a little bit more aggressive in terms of where he was positioned. The tough part with Xeris as a heroic intervene threat is his base is so big. So against good opponents, it's very easy to potentially like just screen him out where he can't like clear the warriors unless he gets like a high roll and where he can land. So he's, in a lot of cases, not a very reliable heroic intervene threat. It's mainly the Scorpex. And you have to be completely content with just like sacking a unit of Scorpex the way this list is designed to save the warriors. Because if you can get rid of the one unit that can kill the warriors, it's basically GG, right? So let's go into his turn here. And he's going to get no prisoners and recover assets. So the cards are telling him like, yo, let's kill some shit. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So you're going to see turn 2, his movement phase, and we're going to go right into the charge phase, okay? So essentially he's setting up Exalted 8-bound. They're going to charge here at the Tomb Blades. He has the Zerk unit right here, spawn, everything else. Now, one thing that we pointed out, helping him on, because this is a practice game, like basically gave it like full intel up front, where it's like, yo, you probably, and this is something I'm just going to highlight on the channel, some tech. of what you can do against this. So it's like, hey, you should move up the Demon Prince because it could potentially counter my Heroic Intervene threat. If he did not move this up, like, I will show you what would have happened, okay? So he charges in, so he moves up the Demon Prince, okay? So basically what ends up happening is because the Zerks move up and charge, right? Let me zoom in here. You're making it awkward for them to try to connect with all of the bases, and you're trying to limit the pile-in. So the Scorpex do still Heroic Intervene, okay? And we stay out of the 6 inches of the Demon Prince. But if the Demon Prince was back here, it gives the flexibility for the Scorpex to charge in here, right? So we end up tying up at least, like, all I need to tie up is like 3 to 4 Berserks, and then the math doesn't math anymore, and we're good. So if I had the flexibility to put the Scorpex here, Demon Prince is out of Heroic Intervene range, and then I tie up the Zerks, and then we're good. And then he has to make decisions whether does he even want to go after the Warriors, because the 3 Scorpex, if they all connect with the Zerks, they will wipe that unit probably outside of Karn. Like, the brick will die. So he has to make some decisions where it's like, damn, do I still commit most of my stuff to the Warriors, or to just try to get rid of the Scorpex and the Warriors are still there? Like, you leave him no good option, really. But by letting him move up the Demon Prince, it neutralizes that, because if I do move a Scorpex here, then the Demon Prince is eligible to charge. Demon Prince can fight first because he charged, so he can go after the Scorpex and kill the Heroic Intervene threat. And then I don't have anything to counter offensive with, and then he could just activate the Zerks and then kill the Warriors, okay? So something very technical to highlight here, okay? So he has full buffs up, okay? So he's got Karn, he's got Sus, he's got the Exalted 8-bound next to the Zerk. So this is like literally set up perfectly, okay? He kills them basically on the nose. All right. I think he did like 1 or 2 wounds extra, and that's not killing the characters. So the characters actually lived, and he did, like, I think Karn got 1 wound through on Oricon. Okay. So full buffs up. If all the Zerks can connect and Karn, like, on the nose, they can get him. All right. So now you guys know. And this is what I need to test too. The next battle report is going to be against orcs. So get ready. All right. We're going against all the melee stuff. All right. So, and then what was huge is because the Warriors died, he had the 6-inch pile and consolidate. So the Exalted 8-bound were eligible to pile in over here. And then swing on the Scorpex, which was huge. Okay, so it was like a double whammy of like being able to move the Demon Prince here. Like, all of a sudden, if the Scorpex were able to line over here, it prevents the Exalted from coming in, the Demon Prince. Like, just that one little thing could have completely swung the game in the other direction. So very technical thing to highlight, very cool thing for you guys to see. And hopefully that makes sense. And if it doesn't, just watch this back again, because it is a very technical thing to go over. Okay. Now, so Warriors are dead. Okay. Warriors are dead. Scorpex are going to die almost, except for 1, and is going to pass it over to me. So he's going to get a 2 on no prisoners. He's going to get recover assets, and we're going to go into bottom of turn 2. So we're only going to get a 5 on primary because we hold this objective. And then we get storm hostile objective and behind enemy lines. I cycle behind enemy lines, and we get bring it down, which is also unfortunately going to be a dud this turn. Okay. So we are going to get storm hostile objective by basically just taking over this objective right here. And my turn is pretty straightforward. Try to kill as much as I can. So we are basically going to try to kill all of this and see what we can do after that. Now, it did not really go as planned. We both were not really rolling particularly well this game. And the DDAs did not do DDA things on this turn. So, which it's just going to happen. So, and I'm telling you, I mean, the DDAs, they're all sitting still and everything else. So, Scorpex are going to fall back. We're going to shift everything up. The Zerks have a blood surge, so we're basically setting it up so Xeris is the closest eligible target. So we're essentially going to hit the Zerks with the DDA, hopefully kill enough where he can't actually kill Xeris, and then we're going to countercharge with the unit of Scorpex here to hopefully clean up the rest of the brick. Okay, so going into the turn, we're going to scoot that DDA over. This is turn 2 in the movement phase. At the end of the movement phase, he is going to ingress in his 6th unit of Exalted with the Slaughterbound, and this unit just freaking slaps. It's super good. Now, basically, DDA was going to fire at the Demon Prince. We have this here. I mean, solid targets. Just did not do enough damage. So you're going to see before the shooting phase. Let's see. Why did they get to... Oh, he adjusted him. He moved him over there. That's right. Okay. So this is essentially... We did not kill a lot. So basically the Scorpex, we did kill the spawn. This was disastrous. Like, this unit totally should have been dead. And they were not. Even committing Oricon, like, man, just did not roll well at all this turn. I vividly do remember that, which happens, you know. And then the Scorpex charge in, like, everything just did not, just did not go right. We left the freaking Demon Prince on 1 wound, and he was at 5 wounds, I think, before the charge. So I thought we would have got him, but you know, it just I was trying to get 1 more wound on him, so he was at 4, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because I was like 2 wounds on average. It definitely should get a very high chance, but the 5 was weird, and he was left on 1. So he freaking just killed the Scorpex, which was painful. Karn lives on a couple wounds, and then that was the board state. So this is going into turn 3. He's going to get a 10 on primary because we're playing Scorched Earth, and we pass it over to him. So he's going to get Sabotage and Mark for Death. So he's just going to highlight, I mean, literally just this unit of Scorpex right here, or this DDA, I think, and just like freaking wreck it. So let's go over to his turn 3 movement phase. You're going to see his resources shift up. And this is essentially what the board state looks like. So he's going to Sabotage with like this, I think with this Rhino back here. And then he's going to Mark for Death this DDA because it is so dead. So you're going to see his charge phase now, turn 3. And he connects with everything. He ends up killing the DDA, so he's going to get his Bring It Down target. And then, or no, sorry, not his Bring It Down target, his Mark for Death target. And then he doesn't end up killing the Scorpec, which was hilarious. So the Scorpec got to swing back at the Exalted. I think he killed like 2. And then the Demon Prince goes into Xeris. And, you know, we were scamming each other back and forth. Like, I'll be honest, man, I couldn't shoot worth a damn this game, but boy, could I make some 4-up invuls, man. Like, there were twice in this game where I spiked like crazy. I think... Like, even Joe was like, Kyle, dude, why are you doing this to me again, man? Why? Just why, man? Yeah, dude, I would be the first to say it was bad, man. He handed me like 6 saves on Xeris with the Demon Prince, and I think I banged like 6 4-ups, man. It was not good. So Xeris lives, and the Demon Prince ends up dying. Xeris, dude, he actually slaps in this attachment. Like, hitting on 2s if he's next to the barge like he is here, rerolling 1s to hit and wound. You know, his 3 shots at 9-3-3 are also like super reliable now if he's next to the barge. He's great, man. He's just annoying to deal with. And then Karn's going to go after the DDA, try to do, I think, some chip damage and just tie it up. So going into my turn 3, we're going to get a 10 on primary because we're going to hold this objective here, our natural, and our home. And we're going to get Bring It Down. We still Bring It Down and Extend Battle Lines, which we actually scored... how did we get Bring It Down? Oh, I think we killed Bring It Down. What did we actually kill? I mean, we killed something. I think it was the Rhino. What did we kill? I'm not sure. We killed something. That was the other turn. Oh, turn 3. I got Bring It Down. Oh yeah, because I scored it in there. Okay. So Bring It Down, Extend Battle Lines, and then wait, what happened here? Why is there 4? Man, I am not sure what happened here. Cleanse, engage. I think because I remember like I had to bring it down, carried over to the other turn. Well, I can't even remember here. So yeah, so bring it down, extend battle lines. And I don't know why cleanse and engage are on there. Something glitched out. I probably cycle, yeah, because I remember I got bring it down the next turn. I had to cycle cleanse, and then I got engage in all fronts. Yeah, I think it was something like that, and then went. I'm not entirely sure. But we do have bring it down, extend battle lines this turn. So we're gonna get extend, and then we need to kill a vehicle, which is not really gonna be in the cards. Maybe I don't know. I don't know, guys. Something got screwed up here. I'm not fully sure. But we'll keep things moving here, so you guys can see what happened here. So we're essentially all hands on deck now. So Ophidians are gonna charge over this way, and basically all output to try to kill this Exalted Brick with the Slaughterbound, and then try to limit his resources and what he has left. And again, we just do not do as much damage as we would have hoped. So going into his turn 4, he is going to get a 15 on primary because he's going to be able to burn this objective in turn 4 and then still hold these 2 objectives going into turn 5. Okay, so he's going to get behind enemy lines in area denial, which he's going to get area denial here. He's going to have the 2 units back here, so easy points there. And this is just going to start wrecking fools. So Slaughterbound coming in. And I spiked again on the Catacomb Command Barge. Like, he handed me like 6 or 7 saves, and I saved like 6 of them. It was crazy, man. So the barge had no intention of living whatsoever, but is still alive. He gets to clap back on the Exalted, ends up killing some. And then so we kill those guys, and then going into my turn 4, we're just going to get a 5 on primary again. And again, now we're just trying to kill these resources here and here. So I think we end up killing the Rhino, which was for bring it down. And then we get no prisoners and overwhelming force. So this is definitely what I had in turn 4, is no prisoner, overwhelming force. So we have this objective here. We're going to get overwhelming force for. We're not going to have enough output to kill the Forge Fiend. I don't know. I think something got glitched with Bring It Down, or like I cycled it. I don't fully know what happened. That like bugs me because I don't know if I've ever made like a mistake like that or something like that's happened. So I do apologize, Devin. I don't know what happened, man. I'm just over here cooking the score apparently. So the DDA goes here and is tagged up, and that's pretty much the turn. Yeah, Scorpex come out. They try to kill the Slaughterbound, which they do. And then going into turn 5, he's going to get a 5 on primary because he no longer holds this objective. So he needs to try to take this one from Xeris for points because he gets extend battle lines and engage on all fronts, which he does get the Forge Fiend over there to basically out Osimi to get extend battle lines. Then he's going to get engage on all fronts for 2 because he holds these 3 quarters. Okay. And then going into my turn 5, we're going to get a 15 because I get Sabotage and Defend Stronghold, which I know for sure those are my last 2 cards because I needed to drop in the Ophidians here, highlighting Ophidians end of turn scoring because they drop in, I score the objective and burn it, so they single-handedly score me 10 points. And then the Scorpex can move up and be outside of the deployment zone or a DDA to Sabotage, and then that was basically the game. So I think going into very close, I definitely think Devin won this game. I think if we switched one of the things around where he didn't, I think it was something where he didn't need to Overwatch. So I think it was this turn right here. So if he didn't Overwatch with the Forge Fiend, he would have had 1 CP. So when these Jackals died, he could sticky the objective to then get 10 points going into turn 5. Super good. So then he would have edged out like an extra 5 points. So it would have been like 79, 77, maybe even more. Because I apologize. I do not know what happened in turn 3, how this happened. I know I cycled Cleanse and I had bring it down from the last turn, but I don't know what vehicle I killed. I mean, I didn't kill no vehicle, so I don't know. I don't know, guys. Or maybe I don't know what happened. So other than that, though, let's see. Highlighting some things. I think the biggest thing is just probably need to do a better job of like setting up the heroic intervene like with a precision knife. Like it's got to be very precise how you place them. But overall, I mean, this list can handle the world eaters. Like it gives me a fighting chance, which is good to see. I think as long as things are more or less positioned correctly, I think we do have some play into the world eaters. And then, you know, obviously the next test is going to be the orcs and Gaz. So stick around for that. But if y'all stuck around this long, seriously, appreciate you watching. We will catch you in the next one.